Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatavia Allah coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying, but kind of just like a lamb back off the video lesson that the elder Yashwamba did. All right, he was bringing a bunch of videos, basically going into this whole Fauci thing and the CVid pandemic, which, at the time it was happening, from the apostles and elders on down, we were letting it known, basically what it was, right? And, we were pushing faith, we were pushing prayer, all right? And, you had the Edomite pushing what the Edomite pushes, right? And that's carnality and ultimately, the people relying on him. All right. And now we see what happened. It's all being exposed, right? It's all being exposed that it was all BS, right? Fauci, he he pled the fifth 111 times, and it didn't matter if whatever he said, because he was already pardoned, right? Or he has immunity for I forgot how long it is. But it just shows you, right, that, and Fauci's just the fall guy, right? These plans that went out and which really caused damage, these were thought up by the elites, okay? You go into the pharmaceutical industry, the people who are in charge of all these companies, you see that it leads to what? The small hats, right? Amalek. But let me start with this. And again, this shows us who we're dealing with. So, when we have the majority of our people, talking about they want some type of salvation for the Edomite, it doesn't make sense, right? Because well, let me start there. Hold on. I'm going to jump back. This is Habakkuk 2 and 4, right? Because this is who we're dealing with. We're dealing with the Edomite, and he's not right. Habakkuk 2 and 4, behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So his soul, which has been lifted up, he's on his high horse right now. He's been given his control. It's not right, right? And again, his fruits show, right? It shows everything that he's into, the philosophies that he pushes, all right? The main message that he pushes, the things that he does in darkness, right? Why is it? Because he's not right. He's the Edomite, and there is no salvation for the Edomite. It says, but the just shall live by his faith. And the just, who are the just? Ultimately, all of Israel. Okay, but right now, who is it? It's the elect. The elect are going to have the faith. The faith in what? In Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. The faith in to never trust thine enemy. Sirach, the 12th chapter. All right, the scriptures say we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. This whole pandemic that happened a couple years ago, and then the juice that he offered later on, that was a wicked device. Right? And it was to do some damage. All right. But let me jump back. This is Micah 2 and 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. All right. And that's heavy iniquity. It says, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the power, into the hand of the wicked. Okay. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom. So because they have the power, they have the ability to have these gain of function research centers. All right. Whatever research and development. All right. They have already gone into what is in, these some of these jabs. Right. You got horseshoe crab blood. You got aborted fetal cells. Right. And this whole mRNA, nanotechnology, who knows what else. Right. It's iniquity. You're not supposed to be putting these things in your body. But here it is, Esau, all right? He knows what he's doing, right? But I'll read this in the NLT. It says, what sorrow awaits you, all right, well, because woe meaning destruction. What sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night thinking up evil plans. And this is what the Edomite does, right? He cannot think right. He doesn't do right. He lies awake at night thinking up evil plans. Why? Because he wants his birthright back. All right. That's really what it goes back down to. All right. He wants that total control. He wants to put Jake in slavery. He wants them to take that electronic oath, All right. And then those who don't, he thinks he can do away with them. All right. But again, these are evil plans. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out simply because you have the power to do so. And the Lord has given him the power to do so. But again, that is coming to an end, right? The scriptures say he has bounds that he cannot pass. But this is the Edomite who we're dealing with. He's not right. There's no salvation, right? And it's just more proof, further proof, further receipts of who this man is, right? He is not right. Psalms, the 10th chapter. You know what? Let me just start from the top. It says, why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? And the scripture's going to, what is it? It is now time for thee to work, O Lord, roughly paraphrasing. All right. Hey, we're praying to the Lord to take this man out because you see his agenda. All right. And that was just a trial, and that was just an experiment. This whole MOTB, what he's really trying to push, total control. All right. And really into a dystopian transhumanism, all right, future, which is no future. It says, verse 2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in devices that they have imagined. And this was, this is a persecution, right? This is the elite. All right, the wicked going after Jake. And who did they target first? All right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They said they needed it the most. They were the most affected. Verse 3, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. So that he's already doing what the Lord hates. All right, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. And that's the main thing. The wicked, the Edomite, the so-called white man doesn't have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in his thoughts. He doesn't think, oh, would Yahweh Bashem Yahushai be pleased in this? Oh, I fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Let me not do this. Let me not push abomination. Let me not push this evil philosophy on my brethren, on the whole world. But what does he do? He does the exact opposite. He pushes it. Not only does he give you a jab, right? He puts just the most abomination juice in it. And this is who we're dealing with. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. All right. And again, that's the pride of this devil. But what does it say? His pride has deceived him. All right. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. All right. Fauci. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. This is what he does. He's a liar. All right. He lies. And again, this was further proof. And our apostles and elders were bringing it out on down. The brethren on down that this man was not right, to not trust him. That what he's pushing is some wicked shit. And again, it's being exposed. Verse 8, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. This is who we're dealing with. This is the kind of mind frame he has towards the Israelites. All right. To try and catch them up. To murder them. To kill them. Okay. And again, this is what he did. And he's being exposed for it. All right. Now, from there, let me jump over here. Proverbs 4. And for our people, the majority of our people who still have this man's back, who wants him saved, who believe in this, bugged out Christianity for all, the Most High came for all, right? Hey, you people are in for a rude awakening. You're going to trust this devil, and what that devil, the trust in that devil is going to be your confusion. It's going to be your ruin. Proverbs 4:16, it says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And this was mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. So this man can't even sleep peacefully unless he comes up with these schemes. All right. And the scriptures say he is wiser than Daniel. So he's researching these things. He has the ability, the resources to do these things. what will make Jake, basically what will further kill Jake, but what will break him down. All right, what sin and iniquity can I make them do to where their bodies, their relationship with the Lord is broken down? All right, and this is one of them. Okay, it says, for they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. And that's what he is. He's a violent man. He's a murderous man. All right. I mean, hey, he goes back to Cain. All right. Look what he did to Abel. He has that same mentality. Well, even in when he came back as Esau, what did he still want to do to Jake? You know, when Isaac had just died, right? He wanted to basically, what did it say? He was going to mourn his father, and then will I slay Jacob? Roughly paraphrasing. That's the murderous intent that he still has even to this day. But this is who we're dealing with. All right. Now, the Wadiyah B'Shem Yahshai, because what does the prophecy say? This man is being exposed. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. All right, and this happened. And what is this going into? The return of Yahushua, ultimately the kingdom being established, right? But what had to happen? Prophecies. So we had the falling away, transatlantic slave trade. You know, we had our heritage beaten from us, okay? We had our heritage stolen. And then what else? It says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And this is who is being revealed, the man of sin. How is he being revealed? Well, real quick, and I'll jump back. What is that? Job 20. And yep, 27. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. So the heavens, all right, hey, the Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, the Rachakwadash, okay? And ultimately, you know, everything on the airwaves, the YouTube, right? The internet, it's all going out. The scriptures say his own tongue shall fall upon him. He has his own people seeing and exposing these schemes because they're not in on it, all right? They're lower level Edomites being left out. And what are they doing? They're mad. They're exposing. All right, you got insiders exposing. But why is that? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai is putting that spirit out to expose this devil. So, you know, when the time comes, when ultimately when this MOTB is pushed, there's no excuse. We've been told you, all right, from the apostles and the elders on down, that this man was not to be trusted. This man is the Edomite. He is the wicked, all right? He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And what is this chip that he's pushing, this MOTB, is for the ruin of Jake. Okay, so again, when this time comes, there's no excuse. It says the heavens shall reveal his iniquity and the earth shall rise up against him. All right, Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai is exposing his ass. All right, jump back. 2 Thessalonians 2 and again verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right. This is who we're dealing with. The man of sin, the son of perdition. He is an evil man. And yes, you know, the elites, all right? And again, Fauci's just a fall guy. But the elites, everybody who's in control, everybody, you know, you can look up the heads of the pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, Moderna, all right, Johnson & Johnson, the ones who own those companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, all right? Going into the big bankers, the big banking families. Who does it all go back to? The Edomite. His top tribe, Amalek. All right? This is who we're dealing with. Verse 4, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is as the Most High, sitteth in a temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. He has a God complex. He's playing, he thinks he's playing with life and death, which he is. All right? But again, we read that the Lord has given him this power. And what's he going to do? The Lord is going to take this power away. All right. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know and now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Because back then, they were in control again. All right, they were the Romans at that time. The Edomites, same people. And fast forward to today, all right. Hey, it's the same people, the same Edomites in control. All right. A deadly wound was healed. They came back into power. Verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right. And again, he's being exposed by way of his prophets, by way of the Ruach HaKodesh. And then ultimately, when Yahushua comes, he's going to be taken out of power. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. So he does the bidding of Satan. All right. Which is, a wicked angel, or Salakia, an angel that does the bidding of the Lord on the left-hand side. Okay. It's an angel, again, that does the bidding of the Lord on the left-hand side. And what is Esau? He embodies it. All right. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. And again, the majority of our people, all right, the Lord's going to give them over to what they want. All right, they want wickedness. They want to trust the so-called white man. Scripture say, if our gospel be hid, it is hid because the God of this world blinded them. Who's the God of this world? Esau, Edom. All right, and they don't have the ability to believe in this truth, this glorious gospel, which again, this glorious gospel is exposing this devil. Okay, but we're going to see what that leads to. All right, the scriptures say it's going to a weeping and gnashing of teeth. The slain of the Lord shall be many, because you trusting in a damn devil. All right, I'll read verse 13, last verse. It says, but we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because the Most High from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. All right, and Lord's will, we ultimately continue to fight and be of that number. All right, of the elect, because the elect, again, are not ignorant of Satan's devices. They're exposing this man. All right, and they're going to stay true and have that integrity even until the end. All right, but again, this devil, all right, showing you that he is the wicked. All right, the so-called white man is the wicked, and he's being exposed. Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and above.